Hello, so you're back for another chapter of Sideways Stories from Wayside School, and we're getting ready to read chapter 8. People have been doodling or writing down different words of ideas that they have been listening to in the book of what's unexpected in this chapter or in the book, unexpected for a classroom. So I've got lots of different things here, little doodles from the book. So people sleeping in class instead of listening, teachers turning children into apples instead of having conversations with them when they're misbehaving. So lots of different ideas. Feel free to take a picture and send it to me. So this is chapter 8, and chapter 8 is called Myron. And there's the picture. Myron had big ears. He was elected class president. The children in Miss Jewel's class expected him to be a good president. Other presidents were good speakers. Myron was even better. He was also a good listener. But he had a problem. He didn't know what a class president was supposed to do. So he asked, "What am I supposed to do?" "It's a difficult job," Mrs. Jewels said. "But you can do it. You must turn the lights on every morning and turn them off at the end of the day." "What?" said Myron. "As a class president, you must learn to listen," said Miss Jewels. "I'll repeat myself only one more time. You must turn the lights on every morning." "I heard you the first time," said Myron. "It just doesn't sound like much of a job." "It certainly is," said Mrs. Jewels. "Without light, I can't teach and the children can't learn. Only you can give us that light. I think it's a very important job." "I guess so," said Myron. He wasn't convinced. "Here, let me show you how to use the light switch," said Mrs. Jewels. "I already know how," said Myron. "I've been turning lights on and off my whole life." "Very good," said Mrs. Jewels. "You'll make a fine president." Myron wanted to be the best president ever, but it was such an easy job he thought that anybody could do it. When school let out that day, Myron stayed behind. He turned the lights out by flicking the switch down. "Excellent," said Mrs. Jewels. On his way home, Myron heard a horrible noise. First there was a loud screeching, then a sharp squeal, a roaring engine, and then the very faint sound of a girl crying. Myron ran to see what happened. Dana was bent over in the middle of the road. "What's the matter?" asked Myron. "My dog Pugsy was hit by a car," Dana cried. "Who did it?" Myron asked. "I don't know," Dana sobbed. "They sped away." "Well, that's not important," said Myron. "We've got to try to save Pugsy." Pugsy was unconscious in the street. Myron carefully picked her up. He carried her 2 miles to the vet. Dana cried at his side. "Don't worry, Dana," said Myron. "She'll be all right." But he wasn't really so sure. He gave Pugsy to the vet and walked Dana home. Then he walked home himself. Dana was so upset that she forgot to thank him. Myron didn't mind. He thought that's what being a class president was all about. The next morning, before he went to school, Myron went to Dana's house. Pugsy wasn't there. She seemed all right, though. Dana petted her. Pugsy was there. She seemed all right. Dana petted her. Pugsy licked her face. "See, Myron, she's all right," said Dana. "The vet said that you brought her in just in time." "Hi, Pugsy," said Myron. He petted her. Pugsy bit his hand. "I guess she doesn't know you," said Dana. "She was unconscious yesterday when you saved her life." Dana's mother put some medicine and a Band-Aid on Myron's hand. Then she drove the kids to school. They were late. They ran up the stairs to Miss Jewels' class. The room was completely dark. "It's about time you got here, Myron," said Mrs. Jewels. "We have no lights." "Why didn't somebody else just turn them on?" asked Myron. "Because you're class president," said Mrs. Jewels. "Show Stephen how to work the lights. From now on, he will be class president." Myron showed Stephen how to turn the lights on. He flicked the switch up. At the end of the day, Myron showed Stephen how to turn the lights off. He flicked the switch down. After a week, Stephen finally caught on. He made a good president. The lights were on every morning. Myron, who was president for only a day, was the best president in the history of Wayside School. It was just that no one knew it. That's the end of chapter 8. See you next time.